Hi, BrenTech here, where tech is made simple. So Microsoft has rolled out our next optional bug fix C release update to insiders in the release preview channel on Windows 11, 24H2 and 25H2. So our next update, KB5079387, is now in its final testing before Microsoft rolls it out to the general public as the optional update for March. So because it has been finalized now in release preview, I would suggest that starting Tuesday the 24th of that week in March, that's when it will start rolling out to the general public. And we don't get it on that Tuesday, obviously, we can get it then anytime towards the end of March. Now, compared to previous optional updates for Windows 11, 25 and 24H2, this is actually a light release compared to previous C release updates, and only contains what Microsoft is calling 7 new features. Now, in the past, we've had up to 20 odd new features, so that's why I'm saying this is quite a light release. So that's nice to see. I actually think we're at least to some degree or the other, Microsoft now can start focusing on stability and not pushing out new features at a rate of knots. Now, the features now I'm going to mention and fixes and improvements are all going to be rolling out gradually. So, as always, Microsoft likes to push out new features and improvements on a phased approach. So you may or may not see these if you do decide to install the update when it does roll out to the general public. Now, first of all, Microsoft says there's a new feature for Narrator where on Copilot Plus PCs, as you may well know, Narrator provides image descriptions. And over and above Copilot Plus PCs now, works with Copilot on all Windows 11 devices. So Microsoft says you would press the Narrator key plus Control and D to describe the focused image, or Narrator key and Control and S to describe the full screen. And then what happens is that Copilot then will open up the image ready, allowing you to enter a prompt for a customized description. Then there's a new feature for Smart App Control. And this is one that Microsoft has been rolling out, pulling, and now I see it's on its way out again. So if we head into our Windows Security app, App and Browser Control, Smart App Control, Microsoft says once again, with this update, you will now be able to turn Smart App Control on or off without needing a clean install. And this is something Microsoft did roll out with a recent update to the stable, and as I posted, pulled it, and now seems to be making its way back. Now, in case you're unaware, when you turn on Smart App Control, it helps block untrusted or potentially harmful apps. So as you can see, I did an update with this machine. That's why mine is grayed out. So that's hopefully going to be changing once and for all with our next optional update. And then for settings, we get 2 new features and 2 improvements. Microsoft says that the settings about page, that would be going to System and then clicking on About. I'm not going to go into my page because there is important info there regarding this device. But on the About page, Microsoft says it's been improved to provide a more structured and intuitive experience, offering clearer device specifications and easier navigation to related device components, including quick access to storage settings. And then the next new feature for settings is, if we head to our home page, Microsoft has been slowly pushing out a device information card on this page, which I still haven't received yet, but it seems that it's going to be becoming more widely available with this next update, with Microsoft saying the device information card on the settings homepage simplifies key device specifications and improves consistency across end-to-end flow from the home card to the settings system about page. So hopefully with this next update, I'll finally get that so I can show you that in real time. And then there are improvements where Microsoft says it's improved the performance of loading home in settings, which is going to be nice to see. That needs a bit of work, as I have posted previously. And it's also improved the reliability of downloading necessary updates when prompted, in Settings System Advanced. So that would be on this page. So 2 new features and 2 improvements for settings, which is nice to see. And then for the accounts in settings, if we head to our accounts page, there's 2 new features here where Microsoft says Microsoft 365 family subscribers can upgrade to a different Microsoft 365 plan from the settings accounts page. And then to remove the upgrade option, you would have to turn off suggested content in settings, which I always advise doing. So if we head to privacy and security, recommendations and offers, if you don't want to see that, you can turn off recommendations and offers in settings. On this page, I personally turn all of these off for privacy. And then Microsoft says, heading back to the accounts page, the update also improves the design of the dialog boxes in settings, accounts, other users. Because currently, if we want to add an account as an example, we can see things looking a little bit off. I'm running dark mode and that's all in light mode. Where Microsoft says it's going to match the modern Windows look and support dark mode. So this is all going to be updated to a more modern user interface. So that's something I'm happy to see. And then just to mention the 7th new feature, Microsoft says Windows will now introduce a cleaner, modern pen setting experience where you can now choose the same, where Microsoft says you can now choose the new same as Copilot key option, which enables the pen tail button to open the same app as the Copilot key. Now that's quite a mouthful and obviously is hardware specific. So those are the 7 new features that Microsoft says are rolling out gradually now. Just to go through some fixes and improvements which are rolling out gradually, quite a bit to go through, so I'm just going to get through these quickly. So for File Explorer, there's a couple of improvements where Microsoft says, first of all, it's improved reliability of unblocking files downloaded from the internet in order to preview them in File Explorer. Next up, you can now use voice typing, Windows key plus H, when renaming a file in File Explorer. And then the third improvement is you can now sort the permissions entries in the Advanced Security Settings window for a folder in File Explorer by principal. So 3 improvements rolling out for File Explorer. And then for display, we get 5 improvements where, first of all, monitors can now report refresh rates higher than 1000 Hertz. Next up, while using a native USB 4 monitor connection, the USB controller can now go to the lowest power level while the PC is sleeping, saving battery life. Microsoft has improved reliability of auto rotation after resuming from sleep. It's also improved HDR reliability for displays with non-compliant display ID2 blocks. And then the last improvement for display, monitors with display ID now report a more accurate size when using WMI monitor APIs. And then for printing, they've updated the down level baseline support for printer connections to be Windows 10 version 1607 and Windows Server 2016 build 14393. And there's an improvement for Windows Hello, where the fingerprint reliability for certain devices has been improved. Microsoft has improved reliability of loading components of the taskbar in safe mode. They've also improved how numbers are detected and written when using voice access in English. And then just 4 more to go for this video. Microsoft says it's improved handling of short MIDI messages in cases where an application was initialized without providing long message buffers. And then for SFC Scan Now, which is something you can run using Command Prompt or PowerShell, as I've posted previously, to check for system file errors. Microsoft says it's removed an error message you might unexpectedly see when running SFC Scan Now, which is nice to see because I use that almost on a weekly basis for maintenance. So those improvements with the new features, as mentioned, are rolling out gradually. And then for a normal rollout, we get 2 improvements. The first is the update improves the natural voices experience in Narrator. It also makes natural voices setup more reliable. And then we get a improvement for performance and reliability, where Microsoft says this update improves stability in Windows recovery environment, Windows RE, when you run 64-bit apps on ARM64 devices. These apps, Microsoft says, run more smoothly and respond as expected. So compared to previous C release updates, quite a light release in regards to new features, which I'm actually quite happy to see, as mentioned. So guys, that's more or less what to expect in our next optional C release update, KB5079387, rolling out to Windows 11, 25 and 24 H2 over the next coming days. And obviously it is in preview, so one or two things could change when it actually does roll out to the general public soon. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.